Have you ever wondered how different cultures bring different dishes to their holiday table? Since we all have different cultures, we have one thing in common regardless of the cultures, which is food. We attend you because we have different culture background. For example, I'm Mexican, we have Polish, Italian, and Guatemalan heritage. Dishes are a simple way for people to get together across different cultures. Today we will discuss our favorite dishes we enjoy eating with our families around the holidays. First, we're going to take a trip down the south to visit Mexico. For example, pozole is the type of soup that Mexicans love to eat. There are two types of pozoles, which is either green or red pozole. In my traditions, we prefer red pozole. We usually make pozole when it starts to get cold and for the holidays. For example, my mother made some yesterday because it was snowing yesterday, so why not? For the holidays, we usually make like a huge pot that covers almost the whole table, and we use this spoon to serve because it's what we always use. Pozole is very easy to make according to my mom. When I asked her on December 1st, she told me what to do first, which is you boil the meat. You can either choose between chicken or pork, and once the meat is softened, you add the hominy. While that's cooking, we blend the chile, oregano, and 5 garlic cloves. And my mom was very specific about the 5 garlic. Once that's done, we add the chile mixture to the hominy and the meat. And all of that takes about at least 2 hours. And once it's done, you serve it to a bowl and you decide which toppings you want. It could either be onions, chopped cabbage, lettuce, avocado, and even more chile to spice it up a little, and a little dash of lime. And ta-da, it's ready to eat.
Now that we learn about the Mexican heritage, we're going to fly across the ocean and visit Poland. Pierogies are a traditional plate because it brings our family closer during Christmas. According to Facts and History about pierogies from Polska.com, we have a Polish dinner which is called Wigilia. And on that day, we must remain meatless and fast because a majority of us are Catholics and we follow that tradition every year. And if you want to keep the tradition going, never indulge in a pierogi eating alone, but savor every bite with family and friends. Homemade pierogies take all day to make. We start off with making our dough with flour and some other ingredients, and then we let that sit for an hour to let the yeast rise and everything. And once we have that, we take the roller, roll out the dough. Then afterwards, we put either sauerkraut, mushroom, fruits, all kinds of flavors. After that, we put it in a fryer, let it fry 1 to 2 minutes. After we're done frying it, we put it in a nice traditional dish, and then we put butter on top to savor like the flavor, and then we either add onions or bake into it.
Flying down south in Europe, the next stop is Italy. The dish I choose to share with you today is a very popular Italian dessert which was originated in Sicily. A cannoli. A cannoli is a tube-shaped shell, fried pastry dough, filled with sweet cream filling, sometimes topped with chocolate chips and nuts. According to Caragulo's, an Italian-American restaurant, the cannoli was made to be a fertility symbol of festivities. In honor of my grandpa, at almost every occasion, we bring out cannolis, like Christmas or Easter, or Thanksgiving, or any holiday. Cannolis can be topped with nuts or chocolate chips, and we bring them out, and it's kind of like in honor of my grandpa, in a way he's still here with us, so it's really important to my family.
We just heard Sydney's favorite Italian dish, the cannoli. Many families have different traditions that come from around the world. The last stop on our journey makes a stop in Guatemala. My family loves to make tamales. For those that are not familiar with a Guatemalan tamal, imagine a masa or dough that has been cooked and is filled with either pork or chicken. According to a personal interview conducted on December 1st, 2016 with my mother, Carmen, a special sauce is needed for each tamal. It goes on top of each tamale, and it consists of cinnamon, red and green tomatoes, as well as pumpkin seeds and other spices that are roasted and then put into a sauce. This picture on the top right here is an actual picture we took last year of one of the tamales we made, and it is served with lime and a piece of bread that is not shown in that picture. The dough is cooked in one of these pots, and this is one of the small ones I brought. It's really a bigger one, but we use this to cook all the tamales, and believe me, there are bigger ones where we put all the tamales in, and we cook them, and it takes about 2 hours to cook because the dough has to be done first, and it gets filled in a banana leaf, and they put all the dough into the banana leaf. It gets tied up and put back into the pot to be steamed for about 2 hours. So once that's done, it's served as you can see on the picture. Once that is all blended and the sauces are ready to go, then you put everything back into that pot a second time. It is basically just served for Christmas. The reason why this dish has become a family favorite is because it brings us together, not only when we're making it, but when we're eating it. Because of all the difficult steps that you previously heard, we all gather together to make all these tamales. So that brings us again together, not only to eat, but to assemble these tamales. This is a fun time since all of us get to gather around and talk, not only for Christmas time, for the actual Christmas day, but before when we're making the tamales. Within these 4 cultures, many favorite dishes were shared. All the dishes were different, but we all had one thing in common. That is that these dishes bring our families together to share and enjoy spending time together. The individuality of our families help keep our lives diverse.